What if I told you that your approach to time management could be the very thing that's holding you back from the thing that you want, the life that you want? Not that you're doing it wrong, it's just that you might be focusing on the wrong thing. Today, I want to offer you a simple but transformative shift that you can make today, 1 week. That's all it'll take to really start looking at your calendar, your to-do list, your schedule, everything differently. Let's dive in. You and me, if you're like me, you love yourself a great productivity planner. There is nothing like being able to color code all your appointments and have all your to-dos set up and get it all orchestrated in your favorite productivity app. And there's some very practical realities to managing time in our lives, right? We have to be places on time to get our kids from school. We have deadlines that we need to reach in order to complete things. We have birthdays on a day. We don't want to forget those sorts of things. So part of time is really all about adulting. We have to do it. So we can't get away from that part, and it's important that we keep an eye on this. The thing is that managing time has its limits. It's a finite resource, so it really doesn't matter how well you manage time, how poorly you manage time. No one gets extra. The other thing is that when you are so focused on managing time, you're invariably focused on managing distractions and interruptions and things going sideways. That's all of this jostling we have to do. It ends up being us against time, us against the clock all the time. And that in and of itself is just plain exhausting. So friends, this is what I've realized about time is that we are racing always against deadlines. We're feeling overwhelmed. We have more to do than we have time, and we rush and we run and we hustle because we're up against time. We feel stressed because we're behind. We're always behind, and everything starts to feel urgent. Then we judge ourselves for not using our time well, for wasting our time. We feel impatient or frustrated because people aren't honoring our time. And then we feel guilty if we're sitting and doing nothing because we should be doing something inside this precious time. And we're comparing ourselves to others who do all this time management thing better than we do. But here's the other thing is that, you and I, we have things we want to be up to, things that really matter to us, and to figure out how to do this with this precious time and life we have. And so that really does matter. And here's the other thing that really matters is because you and I both know that when we feel time squished, crunched, and there's so much still left to do, the things that we need to do for ourselves, we kind of push it off the side. And then we don't do the things for ourselves that we need to be doing. And so this whole time thing is just crazy. So put true in the comments if any of this is resonating for you. This is all true for me, and this is all true for the women that I have been working with. This is such an old relationship, and my hope is that we can really start to loosen our grip on this thing called time, right? Just relax, let the shoulders drop, take some deep breaths, because it all gets into the body. Anyone else ready for an alternative? So, this is something I'd invite you to give some thought to. What if instead of putting all of our attention on managing our time, we add into that, we build into that an ability to pay attention to our energy. Energy, our energy, is something that we can control. Whether you have lots or none, and I have had seasons of both, what you can do is be aware of your energy, what it's like in your body. If someone has the same energy as you, or more or less, we can pay attention to that right inside this body of ours. We can learn strategies to boost our energy, to increase it, Sleep, movement, eating well, those are just ground floor things and just the beginning of the things we can do to boost our energy. We can also pay attention to what depletes it, who depletes it, when it gets depleted, what kind of work depletes us. We can really start to notice that. We can look at our environment. Is it energizing? Is it feeling good? Or do we need to make a change? And we can also look at our work and our goals and our calendars and everything there and say, what kind of energy am I getting from this? Am I excited by this? And just start to pay attention to it. There's just so many possibilities available to us when we build in this perspective that includes our energy. And that is something that we can control very actively. So here are some of my favorite reasons, some of the benefits that I've experienced focusing on managing my energy instead of solely focusing on managing time. The first one is that what can happen is you'll increase your productivity and you'll need less effort because what you do is you start to notice when your energy is at its highest and what tasks you have to do to pair with that. And you end up being able to get things done with so much more ease. Energy management also helps you align with when your mind is at its clearest, when your energy levels allow you to be creative. And then you can start to do work from that place rather than trying to eke things out, creative ideas out when you're depleted. And you can really produce amazing things with that kind of energy paired with your time. The other one that I've really noticed that's been a game changer for me is being able to be successful in what I call a sustainable way, meaning not burning out. Because I'm so connected to my energy now, if it's dropping, I can course correct. If I need more energy, I can adjust. I now work with it way more collaboratively so that burnout becomes something that just doesn't happen anymore because I'm so attuned to my own energy levels and what makes the difference for me. There's also a lot of ease in the day to day, and when you kind of are able to move with your energy and flow with it, not like in a woo-woo way, just in a noticing that on a Monday morning, guess what? I am not at my most energized. And so I'm really conscious on a Monday morning of what I put in and what I don't put in. And I noticed that my energy crescendos over the week. And so I ride that wave. And there's so much more ease when you're working with your energy and designing your life that way and not fighting it. So that is way more fun. All of this allows for a much deeper impact. You can show up and be present and engaged, which for me really matters, especially with my kiddos. They used to get a really partial, exhausted, distracted version of me. And now I can be with them and kind of align and calibrate to their crazy energy sometimes. And it feels more relaxed. And so both in my personal life and my professional life, there's just more opportunity to show up in the way that you want. When you start to pay attention to your energy, you'll start to look at your calendar, your goals, your to-do list, everything completely differently. And you might start to notice there's mismatches between how you're feeling and what you need to do. And those are the sorts of things you can control. I'd love to offer you just a super simple way to start growing your own awareness about your energy. And whether you're energy aware or not, doesn't matter. You are evolving, changing, growing. You're not the same person as you were last week. You can do this practice anytime at any point in this journey of time versus energy. And you can start to just use a scale of 1 to 10. That's my favorite. One for me is like sloth, snail, moving, hardly moving, not getting off the sofa, depleted, exhausted. 10 is run a marathon. I've only run a half, but you know what I mean. And I'll just kind of check in and say, okay, it's midday. What's my energy? And I know this pretty intuitively now. Most of the time, my range is like 7 or 8. When I'm like a 9, that's 10, that's awesome. And when I'm at a 5 or a 4, not so great either. So start, just put a little question into your own planner, into your own system, and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, what is my energy now? And start asking yourself that question regularly, every single day, and start to pay attention to, where are these mismatches? What can I do, not do? As you grow that awareness, if you feel really like you can do this at lunchtime, you can do this after work, you can do this end of the day, and start gathering your data points because that's what this is. It's data points. They can show you patterns and trends. So that would be the practice that I would invite you to start with. So if there's anything you'd like to learn about how to use your energy, just write some questions in there, hit like, hit subscribe. We're going to be on this journey together. And next week, I'm going to offer you more, and we're going to go deeper into how do we make this shift from time to energy? Join in this community of women who are paying attention to their energy and relaxing that grip on time. Thanks for tuning in.